Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today saw Beta 2, that's the second beta release for fleet carriers, and this will be continuing on for the next 2 weeks. Straight away we're going to jump in here and purchase one of these fleet carriers. They're still 5 billion, this will be the price when the fleet carriers finally go live. However, there have been some cost reductions and we're going to look at the specifics of that in just a moment. But also, worth pointing out are a number of other changes, things we're going to look at in this video, the addition of Universal Cartographics, and the ability as well to transfer ships to your own fleet carrier regardless of whether or not you've got a shipyard installed. We're also going to take a look at all the locations you can purchase one of these fleet carriers, and yes, that also includes Colonia. Now, Diso, the location where I purchased my fleet carrier, is very busy. You can see there's dozens of fleet carriers here, and indeed some of these fleet carriers will no doubt be from console users, as fleet carriers are persistent across all platforms. Now, if you do want to play the beta on consoles, that's either Xbox or PlayStation, you can do so with these instructions. So firstly, you'll need a PC or a phone. Just head to the URL on the screen right here. There is a link in the video description, and then click the login button. Choose your platform of choice, PlayStation or console. I've chosen PlayStation here. Now there was some problems here with signing in. I did get this message. This is on the PlayStation website. The way I found to fix this was to use a VPN to log in. Hardly ideal, but it did get me into the website. Now once you've done this, it will want to share your details with Frontier. You can approve this as long as you want to go ahead and do that, at which point you can choose your country and generate your beta key for the download. You can then redeem this on your console platform on the respective stores. So then, when you want to purchase a fleet carrier, you can do so at these locations. Again, these are listed in the video description below, and as you can see, you can get one at Jaques Station in Colonia. Now, there are a few changes to fleet carriers. We've seen them over the past few weeks. A few of these we're going to look at right now, but of course, there's no significant major changes. Fleet carriers are still pretty much what we've seen before, but there's some subtle changes here and some pretty good ones that do make them a bit better all round. So you can see the summary screen, we've got the navigation screen as before, we've got the budget screen, which we're going to come back to in just a moment, we've got the commodities trading screen, I won't be using that in this video, as well as the carrier services. Now one thing you're going to notice straight away is a reduction in cost for these services. The services are now much cheaper to install. The shipyard, for example, is now 250 million as opposed to 500 million previously. You can also see the upkeep is now far cheaper as well, meaning that the total upkeep is 26.7 million per week to keep a fleet carrier active and 8.3 million to keep a fleet carrier in its suspended state. The overall cost of a fleet carrier to purchase it and fully outfit it is 6.1 billion. Now, when you want to install a service, you can't do it through your own bank account. You have to actually deposit money into your fleet carrier. We do now have a new max deposit button, which will basically put all your money into the fleet carrier. You probably don't want to do that. Unfortunately, the transfer button, if you want to do it a slow way, is still very slow actually. But yeah, 1.2 million here, 1.2 billion, and I'm good to go. Now, one of the things I did want to test out here is the return on any services you want to uninstall. So we're going to put the refuel services in here, the refuel station. That's 40 million. You can see it's deducted out of the cost right there. We're then going to uninstall it straight away and to see how much we actually end up with. So in short, the return is 36 million. So we pay out 40 million, get 36 back. So there's a 10% loss on any returned modules or services. So that's about in line with standard ships from space stations. So not too bad all in all. But one thing you must make sure to watch out for is to uninstall all the services before you decommission a carrier, because you won't get the money back from the services on the decommission screen. So we're going to install the Universal Cartographics here, 150 million credits, fairly expensive, but it is a good service, especially for explorers who are going to find this very useful indeed. Now, one other thing you probably noticed on the decommissioning screen there is that the initial outlay was 5 billion and the return was only 4 billion 850 million. So there is a slight penalty there to decommissioning your carrier, but it's far less than it was in the previous beta. So then, the two new services I want to check out are the ability to transfer ships into your fleet carrier, and you can do this without a shipyard installed. You do still have the shipyard option here. Now you can see we don't have the ability to actually buy ships because after all we haven't got a shipyard, but we can transfer all our ships in. And yes, I haven't got that many here because I actually sold them all so I'd have enough money for the fleet carrier. And just in case you don't remember, or in case you're not aware, the balance you'll see in terms of credits when you first access beta will be the same as what you had on the 30th of April, as that is when the account snapshot was actually taken place or actually made. Now, Universal Cartographics works much as you'd expect it to work, basically the same as on stations. However, the carrier does take a cut. They take 25% of the total value of anything you should get here, but that said, as a carrier owner, you should get 12.5% of that in your pocket. So basically, if someone's visiting a fleet carrier, they will have to pay a 25% fee for using Universal Cartographics. If you're the carrier owner, then you'll have to pay 12.5% fee. The other 12.5% will go straight into the fleet carrier bank. So there we have it then, the first look at the fleet carriers in the second beta. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys and girls next time.